Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to get some custom side skirts fitted on your car. This should really apply to any car. I'm working with an R31 Wagon. The idea of this is to do it basically on the cheap, save some money and still get a half decent result. So what we're going to be using on this is some side skirts off an XR6 Falcon. These are pretty common on 31s just because I guess they're not too much work to make them fit. A lot of people do it. I reckon they look pretty good on these considering they're not made for the car. And they've got an aggressive shape and whatnot. You should be able to follow this and really get something that's similar enough, close enough to your car. The best way I would suggest finding something that should fit is just pay attention to other cars on the road. Try and find stuff that's got similar mounting points of the skirts like this. These go straight in to the wheel arch just behind there. And then the same with back here. They tuck under the doors. They do need to be trimmed a little bit. But if you want to make it work, you can make it work. So it isn't actually an awful lot of work to get these to fit. There's a bit of time involved. I'd say you could spend a good day on a Saturday or a Sunday doing it and have it all finished. Depends how far you want to go. I'm going to be painting these eventually along with the rest of the car, so I want to get them looking half alright. It is a drift car at the end of the day, so it's not going to stay pretty forever, but we'll see how we go. So really this is all you're going to need. We've got our side skirt, tape measure grinder with a cutting disc on it, a grinding disc as well, side cutters, some pliers, some files. I've got some plastic filler, some wax and grease remover, and basically just a rattle gun along with a bunch of screws. So I'm just going to start by measuring up the car, figuring out how much of the skirt I need to cut off to get it to fit between the doors, just underneath them, and also the total length. I know that these skirts are a couple 100mm longer than the R31 from the insides of the wheel arches, so I'll get them docked down roughly. It's always better to cut off a little bit less than what you think you need. We'll start by getting some measurements and getting the skirts cut down where they need to get cut. Don't forget your safety glasses, very important. Alright, so that's just cutting down the total length. I had to take off a little bit of this piece just to get it to slide under the doors. Yep, fits up the back here, just in that gap, just because on the car it's only quite small as well. Next we are going to just get the front tidied up a little bit more. So just this piece through here, so it doesn't really sit too nice at the moment with the cut that I did, so I'll tidy that up. Alright, so next I'm just going to start putting a few screws in just to hold the skirt in place. So the main thing is just to make sure that this part of the skirt is pushed all the way forward, just to make sure it lines up properly. You don't want it hanging out and having a big gap there, so pull that forward all the way. Get a few screws in to hold it, and then we can start tidying up and trimming all of the excess. So I've just got to trim off here a little bit just so I can push it in all of the way. You don't necessarily have to use screws for doing this. I'm just going to do it because I don't really care about the car that much. It's a little bit too far gone now to be worrying about a couple of holes. The other option, you could use some good double-sided tapes and 3M stuff or something like that, or a bit of liquid nails. But yeah, I'm just going to put a few tackies in it. Should be alright. So now I've noticed I can't really push this in all of the way. I want to get it pretty much hard up, and that is just because it's hitting here. It's sort of hard to see, but just because I didn't trim it back enough through here, it's stopping me from being able to push it in. So I'll cut back a bit more and it should be okay. Alright, so I've got all the screws in. I've just put two back here, just two inside of that door there, and then another two inside this door. So easy as that. I reckon that should be enough. It shouldn't go flying off in a hurry. I'm going to do the underside as well, but we will get to that. So basically now
we've got this front piece, which is sort of hard to see, but because the old piece had this, it had that cover on it, I basically need to weld that on. I've never really tried plastic welding too much until I did the other side, but it wasn't too bad, so I'm going to go ahead, cut the end of that, and try and just mate it up to that. I might need to trim back here a little bit, just because it's poking out a bit far.
Alright, so now what we need to do is just join this end piece. As you can see, there's some gaps throughout it. I'm basically just going to take off a little bit around it where I need to, so it can sit flat, and then we'll start welding it. Now the gap is pretty consistent. There are gaps, it's not too much of a drama. I managed to get the last one looking pretty smooth, so we'll get started on joining these. Alright, so basically all I'm going to do, just melt these two together. It doesn't take an awful lot to melt them. I've over melted them before and you end up losing a lot of the material, but you can fix it pretty easily. Just going to start by getting one side warm. It becomes pretty apparent once it starts to melt, because you can see it actually almost turns into liquid. Try to go for a little bit less heat rather than more. It's hard with this because you don't really know, obviously, unless you've done it before, how much sort of heat you actually need. But yeah, you just sort of want to see that plastic getting into it. You can see once it starts melting. Just make sure you do it in a ventilated space. All the fumes from burning plastic aren't good for you at all. I don't know exactly what it does to you, but it can't be good. So those two, basically now I'm just holding these together. They started to melt together, which is good. So I'll just hold these, let them cool down. Once it cools down, it goes back to being solid. That's all we're waiting for to happen. Once it's like that, you can keep working around the piece.
These two are now stuck together. If the camera will focus. So basically I've just done that top part there. What I'll do is basically anywhere that's still sort of close together, I did overheat some parts so the gap's bigger, but that can be fixed. We'll just start joining it together and then start filling up those gaps.
So I ended up using an oxy. The lighter was just taking a little bit too long. You can see where it's melted. The only problem is with the oxy, it gets pretty hot pretty quick, so there were some gaps. It's sort of forgiving though. I mean, a lot of it can be filled in, which I'm going to do on the back just to sort of try and give it a bit of strength. Sort of run over it a little bit more, try and just get them nicely melted together. I've heard of using a soldering iron as well, but unfortunately I don't have one. So what I'm going to do now, just going to heat it up. Some of these rough spots and where there's a bit of a gap, where I can see that it's not joined together. Just grab a bit of an offcut of plastic and just run over the area. Basically just pressing it in, and as you can see right there, just that top layer is melted and now it's joined together alright. I'm just going to keep doing that the whole way around and get it as smooth as I can, and then the rest of it we can make up for with the filler. So what I'm doing now, I've just stuck a little piece that I cut off on the top there. Basically I just want to melt that just to fill up the gap. So it sort of fills in itself. And guide it in a little bit just with that little offcut I've got. But it sort of falls into that gap there and fills it right up. Now all I want to do, I've already started, my phone did die. I've just got some little pieces of plastic in here. I just want to melt them just to give it a little bit more strength on the inside. Just because basically I'm just relying on the two parts melting together, whereas this should give it a little bit extra strength. And again, I'm just going to grab wherever I put it, that small piece of plastic, and just sort of move it around in there. It works pretty well in terms of just filling up the gaps, and the main thing is just joining it to both sides. Now all I'm going to do is just start sanding all of this back just with the file. It's pretty coarse, but it's just a bit faster I found in terms of getting it all sort of smooth. Surely little dags I'm going to try and take off.
We're giving that a bit of a file. Looks a bit rough. I'll just get rid of some of that dust. Get some wax and grease remover on a rag. Just give that a decent wipe down. Try and get rid of any rubbish on it. So next we're going to start mixing up the filler. Alright, so with the filler, this stuff's actually really good. It comes in a pre-mixed, pre-made sachet basically. You get a few of them in a packet. That's only the small one you can buy and it's only $15 or something like that. Comes with instructions as well, so it's super easy to use. Basically just squeeze out the whole tube of the filler, get all of that out. That line you can see there, that's just for the hardener. So let's say with this in particular, I think it was a 40mm long bead by about 3mm wide. Alright, so we've got all of the paste out. I'm just going to put the bead of filler down now. Just got a nice little line of that. That's about all we need. They also give you this little applicator as well. I'm reusing it from last time. So basically I'm just going to mix all that through, try and just get a nice consistent colour. Alright, now that's the filler all mixed up. You basically only got 4 minutes from once you start mixing to when you need to get it onto the plastic. I'm just going to start putting it with the areas that need the filler. The idea is pretty standard with all filler. You just want it a little bit higher than the actual surface you're working with. You don't want any bubbles because it's going to cause you dramas. I'm just going to get that sort of over everywhere where I've been melting the plastic together. If the shape isn't perfect to the skirt, sorry, I'm not really going to lose sleep over it. I just want to get it looking a bit nicer. I don't even need to go to the extent of putting this end cap on. I could have just left it how it was, but I just reckon it'll finish it off. It'll almost make it look like it was made to fit the car. Alright, so this is all of the filler on. I actually left it a little bit too long. It started to go hard before I'd sort of fully finished smoothing it all out. It should still be okay. Worst case, I'll sand it back best I can. If I've got any pitting or any bubbles or whatever, I'll just run over it again, but I reckon it should be okay. So let that dry for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and start sanding it. So that's all dried up now. I'm just going to start by filing it back and then just move to sandpaper. I'm just starting with some 120 grit sandpaper. Again, it's pretty coarse, but I'm just going to do this to get the bulk of the filler off. Just try and get it as smooth as I can going to the skirt. That's it all sanded back. The best way to really tell how smooth it is just running your finger over it. So this is all actually pretty smooth. I can feel all the marks from the sandpaper. That's just because it was so coarse. So I'm just going to run over that again. I've got a little bit here, a little bit of pitting, just where the outer lip was sitting a bit higher. I'm probably not even going to worry about it. It's only 1/2 mil tops in depth. I'm just going to keep smoothing it out a little bit more, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, so really the biggest thing with the sanding is you just want it to match the lines in the skirt. As you can see here, it's actually not too bad. It seems to follow it along pretty well. I'm happy with the result. Just going to mount this back on the car. Alright, now I'm just going to add in a couple of extra holes up the front and should be good to go. All that's left to do now, I'm going to put a few screws underneath
just so it stops it flapping around too much. I'll go under there, put some screws all the way along, and then cut off all of the excess little tabs from the old car, just the old factory mounts I used to use, and that's it.
That is that. I reckon it's come out pretty sweet. All I've got left to do is sand this up, but I'm not going to bother doing that until I start to paint it, which won't be in it for another couple of weeks. Yeah, I reckon it look mad. Bit of an overview. Definitely looks a bit more interesting than stock. Unfortunately, I buggered this one up and cracked it through there when I was putting it on. So I'm just going to have to pull that off and re-weld it together and try and make it look pretty.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this comes in handy to somebody. If you want to leave in the comments what car you're trying to make it fit on, whether it's a 31 or something completely different. If you found any skirts that you think will fit your car, let some other people know so they can give it a shot on their own. If you could leave some feedback just about the video itself. Plan to do a few more videos, just painting and other little bits and pieces I do with the car. Maybe some drifting videos as well. I'd like to hear what you think. Just check out my Instagram if you want to have a look at me doing silly things in this car. It's just at Aaron Gorton Drifts. Yeah, see you next time.